Hi, friends.
Hi.
We are so excited.
Because you guys subscribed, we now have
1,000 subscribers.
We got 1,000
Yay.
subscribers. We're so excited. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe.
But we're friends. Y'all really came through this week.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Almost
right?
70 or 80 subscribers. So this was lit.
Yes.
So of course we have to celebrate. So pour some Prosecco. Pour some bubbly.
Yes.
I wanted to pop the bottle on camera. India was like, "Boop, take it out." Like, what? We're supposed to pop bottles.
This is better. Cheers.
Cheers.
1,000
Cheers,
subscribers.
guys.
Thank you again.
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all, tonight's episode was a really good one to celebrate 1,000 subscribers.
It was, really. I feel like we're going to get views on this one too.
Oh,
Like,
y'all. Oh, and our last video was our most viewed video. We had over 3,000 views.
3,500.
That is so crazy. Yes. Okay. So, Married at First Sight, season 13, episode 14.
Yes.
Country Chaos. And it was all chaotic.
It really was. It was crazy from beginning to
And
end.
honestly, I don't even need to look at my notes because I didn't really take notes because I was very engaged.
All right, y'all. Y'all know who the main attraction is.
Right, so we're going to go through everybody else and then we just going to spend the whole time talking about Crazy K.
Okay, so first was Johnny and Bao. Like, they were talking about going on a trip. Bao was not excited, of course.
No.
She did make a comment that they had a great trip because they barely spent any time together.
Right, and she was... Like, all these couples went into this trip with drama. Like, their previous weeks or weekends, nobody was great except for Mirla and Gil and Jose and Rachel. Like, they were fine, but they've been fine pretty much for the last few weeks. So, it was crazy that them three couples was like, okay, we'll see how it goes. Like, has it ever been this many couples that were just, like, pretty much ready to be divorced and just going through the motions? 3
out of 5. Well, wasn't that Washington, D.C.?
Well, D.C. was crazy.
By this time,
but
it's
3
like
out of 5 was no.
Yeah, this is crazy.
3 out of 5 is no.
Yeah, and I still think it's no, 3 out of 5. But anyway, back to Johnny and Bao. They slept in separate rooms. Hallelujah.
So it was a setup. Like, Ryan messed up, and he was like, "Oh, I don't mind sleeping with Brett." Brett was like, "Rrr." And so while that happened, that's obviously about them. But when that happened, Johnny and Bao were sitting out there too. And Bao was like, "Oh, it's 6 bedrooms." And then they said something about them sleeping together. And she was like, "Oh, okay." Like, she did not care that they were playing. She did not care that they were kidding. She was like, "Oh, we'll take the rooms." Man, Bao ain't no punk. She will say what she wants. And she is direct.
Bao is direct.
She came
into her own. I was like, yes, Bao.
Yes.
Tell him. She was like, look, I have been being a doormat. I have not been myself. I really have been being walked all over, and I refuse to do that like my mama did it with my daddy. Nope, not today.
She was done.
Bao was checked out.
And she's not playing.
She was even able to enjoy herself and even make a joke of the fact that they had no contact, which is why they had a great time.
And she doesn't care.
She doesn't care anymore.
No. And they went on the shooting date with, like, it was like the misfits, the couple misfits went on a double date.
And that was funny. And then 2 connected and actually did the shooting. Now, I was confused by that. Like, Johnny, why you ain't do the shooting? Like, I get it if you're not, like, it wasn't even, like, just try it once.
Johnny he literally sits back and watches how Bao is actually cool with everybody else and not him, and then he still thinks that she's the problem. It's something very wrong with him.
Yeah, Johnny's off.
It's something very wrong with him. Johnny was like, "Ooh, I really like how Bao is adventurous. Just let her go. Like, let her fly. Leave her alone. Let her do what she gonna do because you are no help. Like, nothing. Like, just let this go. You are the reason why this relationship isn't working. So just let it go."
Yeah. Johnny, boo. My mama was like, how many booty shorts do Johnny have?
Johnny, his shorts be short?
Very short.
I haven't paid attention.
He's very thin, so it's not like, you can really notice like that, but Johnny shorts.
He like his knee. He like some wind on his knees. Okay, what else? So along with that, when the couples played the game, Bao was not holding back. She called Johnny a drama queen.
That was the.
It was like, who was the most dramatic or who's the drama queen of the group? Boom. She was like, Johnny. They said Johnny was the most likely to have to go to rehab, bro. Like,
yeah, they could have alluded to him being on that cocaine.
And I guess he made a joke. I noticed about Johnny is that him and Jose are so touchy-feely. Like, there were so many scenes where it was like the group was laughing. It was a whole group and they would sit next to each other. Whole group and Jose walking up to Johnny laughing and kikiing with him. Like, they just, I don't know. So Ryan ended up with his ass on the couch. Johnny had the bedroom, and that was that. So I think, honestly, Johnny and Bao made it through because of the fact that they weren't having to interact much. But, okay. Never mind. I was going to say something else about Bao, but we'll leave that for later.
Y'all seen Bao consoling Michaela though.
Bao was very involved in the Michaela and Zach drama, and
ironic.
Just is so freaking ironic.
Very much so.
Okay.
Anyway.
So Michaela and Zach were next, but we definitely doing them last.
Okay.
Rachel and Jose.
They didn't get much.
They
were barely on the episode. They had that one little private conversation. That was it. Was just them two.
Yeah, and she was drunk for sure when the girls were all on the couch talking.
Yeah.
Her eyes was getting low. During the group.
When the ladies was talking.
No, but I'm talking about then the group game with the couples.
Yes.
She was talkative and she called herself petty. What else?
Which I thought was funny because I'm like, he's way more petty than you because he literally locked you out and claimed he didn't. Like, it don't get no more petty and annoying than that.
No, and she's only said that she's petty. I don't think she's actually done anything that's been petty yet. But
she claims she's petty.
They talked about, what did they talk about in that conversation at the end?
There might be more blow-ups to come, but they're happy. They're happy with their podcast.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they said that basically. Yeah,
the producers made them have a conversation. It
really
was about nothing.
Yeah, the producers made everybody have a conversation about Michaela and Zach, and
so
their conversation was, "I'm glad that we can work through our drama."
Yeah.
We're not so sure about that though, because we haven't seen them have to work through another drama, and we don't know if Jose ass is gonna actually follow.
Jose is a miniature Michaela, which is so funny.
So the other thing, when they were driving down, she was talking, said something. He was talking over her, and she was like, "Oh," and he basically said he heard her, and she was like, "Oh, so you do listen? You just keep talking." That was a read. And who wants?
And he laughed it off.
He did, but she was annoyed.
Yeah,
she was quite annoyed with that. Okay. They ain't have much, so we're not even gonna spend no more time on them.
Ryan and Brett, are they next? When they were, yeah. Okay, we'll just do them. Okay, Ryan and Brett. They started off in that car ride, baby, on the way,
and she confronted him. She
She
told him about the sister. And
I was thinking that. I was like, damn, the sister kind of threw him under the bus low key.
But he was mad that he was like, why would she say that?
Ask her. Yeah. I think he honestly had no clue because that shit threw him off.
It definitely caught him off guard, but he's real good. He probably
went to the place and cussed his sister out.
He be real silent. He don't say nothing, but she got him because he was hostage in that car. They was in the car for an hour or 2 hours, not long, but he was in the car and she was like, boom, so this happened. And she was like, look, this is how it happened. She did not lie. She really relayed the story exactly how it happened. Yeah. So
unlike Michaela.
She wasn't right. Oof. She was not trying to be vindictive though. She legitimately was like, yeah, so me and it sounded like it was the night before, 2 nights before. It wasn't that long before the retreat. So I don't like Ryan at all.
Ryan really showed his ass this episode.
He did.
Like, he is so bad at communicating. He thinks any form of communication is
an argument or he gets defensive. Yeah. So they had so they're sitting on the next thing that happened was him saying like, oh, we can sleep in the bed together. She was like, sure.
Yeah.
No,
and
we can't.
His ego got bruised.
Because she did it in front of people.
And that was the scene.
Don't be volunteering.
Look, she caused the scene.
But don't be volunteering me to do some shit that we don't do. Like, why are you putting on for everybody? If you wanted to put on for everybody, you should have opened your mouth in the car and said, okay, hey, we're doing a couples couples retreat.
Let's try to sleep.
We may not be able to sleep in separate rooms. Are you cool? Like, they could have had that conversation, but his ass is a fucking mute and don't want to say nothing.
And then Johnny brought up the sleeping arrangement.
Right.
And that's when he was like, "Oh, I was thinking we could sleep." And
he talking about,
you threw her off. Y'all do not sleep together. Why would you think this
and
is
there was
acceptable to
nothing in their actions or communication that would indicate otherwise. And he was like, well, I finally started this was when I was gonna try. Well, who knew that?
Because he was like, I talked to Dr. Pepper. He said that another time to somebody, and I was really gonna try. No, you weren't.
So on top of that, then they went on the shooting trip. He was like, oh, I'm really disappointed.
That
more people didn't do it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Brett is like one level down from Mirla as far as a Debbie Downer, because she don't want to do nothing.
Brett is scary as hell.
She real scary. So
she was up there, like, every time that gunshot, she was like, I thought she got a tick or something.
No, it wasn't. She was just reacting, but she was really.
But how you know it's coming? So the fact the time you like.
You think? I mean, she could have some.
What the
tendencies for like? I mean, she said she had anxiety.
But you should have took a Xanax before you came up.
I know, and you know he was going shooting. So
I'm confused.
I don't know, but Brett
after the first 2 times, you think you would get used to it.
But in the car, she asked him. She told him that she didn't know how he felt, or she didn't know where they were, and he was like, "Well, my actions show where that we are. I shouldn't have to say it out loud." No, that's a cop out. That is a cop out. Like,
he said
you
that.
Not wanting to say it out loud is you being a coward and a punk bitch.
He literally said, "I don't have to communicate every
little thing."
Yes, you do, bro.
We don't know each other. How am I don't know.
And y'all have already been through the ringer. So yes, when things are turning, or if you're trying to change some stuff, you do need to communicate it. How the heck she supposed to know? You acting the same. Anyways, Zach told him when he started complaining about that, Zach was like, "Whoa,
did you
wait."
Right? So Zach, I don't know. It's something about Zach that I still fool with him.
Zach was making a lot of sense.
He was making a lot of sense. The guys were having a conversation, and Ryan told the story.
Yep.
And he was like, "Well,
did y'all sleep together at home?"
Do y'all right? He was like, "I thought we was." He was like, "Well, do y'all sleep together at home?" No, he said, "Was her reaction different?" Because like he said something like basically like, "Why would her reaction be different than when you're at home?"
He was like, "Good point." Yeah, because you literally just switched it up. Of course, she's like, "What's going on?"
And that just really annoyed me because it was fake. And after the blow up, he wanted to have a whole lot of stuff to say about Michaela and Zach. No, talk about your own self, Ryan.
I ain't gonna lie. Ryan was like, "Look, I ain't getting up in that car." Michaela damn near cussed him out when she told him to get in that car.
I mean,
Ryan was like, "We trying to de-escalate."
And here you come. But either way, worry about yourself, Ryan. Worry about yourself.
If I would have been there, I swear to you, I love some tea. Like, I would have been, like, if Gil would have been right there, like, I would have died had I seen all that going on. I would have been like, oh my gosh. I would have been like, Val, what's going on?
That was so much
But then
drama.
again, because Val, well, no, we off the tangent. Anyway, let's go. Who's next?
Mirla and Gil.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Mirla and Gil.
Yes.
Okay. Y'all, I know y'all love Mirla because y'all be coming in our comments, "Oh, y'all so hard on Mirla, y'all so hard on Mirla." But honestly, she is such a bore, y'all.
She's not that fun. Like,
oh my god.
Like, Gil carries them when it comes to the interaction.
Yeah.
Like, he's always the one making the joke. She'll comment back, but she's not.
And I do think she has social anxiety. I do. The fact that she had never been on a group trip like that, like an Airbnb or a cabin. Or
She's 35 years old and ain't never been on a group trip. It has a problem with it. In fact, it's not even that she's never gone. She chooses not to because she doesn't want to share space with people.
And I just feel like, how do you live like that? I get the bathroom situation. I want to stay in there where we got everybody got their own bathroom. But we've been young and we've done, like, I'm just confused.
The fact that she just was like, I've never, and it was like, not even that.
And Gil likes that, so I get that they're coasting a little bit. They seem to get each other, but to be honest, there's some fundamental differences. If I like doing couples trips maybe once a year, hanging out with friends, and you literally don't, we cute now, we getting to know each other, it's lovey-dovey now.
But you're gonna tell me no and mean it,
right? And I'm gonna go.
And
Gil's the type that's gonna still go. He gonna be the only one without his wife there, and Mirla's. She has to do this because she's getting paid for it, but best believe she will put her foot down and probably go. So it's small things like that I'm like, yeah, they'll probably say yes, but are they going to last long term with Mirla's attitude and with his attitude? I don't think so.
Like, he is a true extrovert. He literally described the fact that when he gets around people, he gets energy. Like, that is truly the definition of an extrovert and introvert. Like, where do you get your energy from? And she is the exact opposite. And the fact that she says she wouldn't even want to do it with friends. It's people that'll be like, I'm not going nowhere with people I don't barely know.
Right.
But with your friends, with your people, you'll do it.
Yeah.
She's
That's
not.
fine. I don't
and
know
she
how
don't even want to. And so
well,
then,
she did remember before, she don't like going to cookouts and
she don't want to go to
gatherings.
people's homes, period.
Yeah, she just want to go out to restaurants. I don't see how they're going to work.
I don't know.
And the things that he likes to do, because he's a little bit on the cheaper side than her, it probably does involve a lot of gatherings and cookouts and stuff where it's going to be a group of people and sharing stuff. He's not about to be staying, like he said, at the Ritz-Carlton just...
Right, so she,
her, like,
so to that point, they walked in the house, walked in the room. He was like, "What do you think?" And she was just, that's when she was like, "I'd rather stay by myself." And he was like, "The only thing she would like is if I took her to a Ritz-Carlton and said we were staying at the penthouse." Like, that is him voicing his frustrations in a passive aggressive way, or you know what I mean, like. That is really that he's not happy with the fact that her responses are always negative, because then what happened? They go on the horseback ride.
Yeah, which seemed fun enough, and then when she had 3 or 4 complaints about that, it wasn't long enough. So at first I'm like, okay, are the camera people just catching every single thing she says? Like, oh, it wasn't long enough. I wish it was longer. I wish it was faster. And then he was like, can't you just say it was fun?
It was fun, period. And he doesn't even like horseback riding, and he did it. And he's scared of horses. And we've seen other people that were scared of horses. He also, Vince last season also did it. But the bottom line is, if somebody is going past their comfort zone for you, like, just express like gratefulness, or at least like make them feel good about what they did. But if you're like, yeah, but I wish it was longer. He wanted to not even be on the damn horse. Did you even consider that? Like, maybe it didn't need to be longer, Mirla. Maybe the first time it could have just been this. He caught her out on it. She is very receptive to feedback. That is the one thing. Yep. She takes it in.
Yep.
She said, and in her confessional, she said she was trying and that she needs time and she's not going to change overnight, but she will try. So she does get credit for that.
Yeah, she does.
But she's still doing it.
And she's pretty self-aware. She knows she's a whiner, complainer. She don't like certain stuff, but that don't mean it's enjoyable. Like, a lot of... Oh, she is really just a drag.
She's just a drag.
It's nothing. Like, I'm not mad at it. There's been worse. I'm not.
But just who wants to be around that?
She is, but it's like, compared to all the other women, she's half.
She's the least exciting. She's more normal, but she's the least exciting.
She really, really, really is. Okay.
All right, y'all. The grand finale.
The main event.
The main event. Let's get ready to rumble, because y'all.
Michaela and Zach.
Michaela showed her whole ass multiple times.
She really did. Something wrong with Michaela.
She really, really, really does not belong in a relationship with anyone except for a therapist.
And God. I think she is, do you think she was drunk even in the first conversation that they had when she started doing all this?
No, I do not think she was drunk. I don't think she was drunk. Okay, so it started off with them in the car driving.
And it was positive.
And they were excited to see each other because it was their first time seeing each other since their, candid cam blow-ups. And essentially, they kind of acknowledged that I don't know. Zach really still wasn't here for... I didn't like the fact that Zach didn't acknowledge the fact that he was kind of sort of trying to punish her for not staying the night, even though they weren't going to sleep in the same bed. I think when you're married, it doesn't matter about you being comfortable. Just stay in the same damn house. Y'all so ready to leave. But the reason why it ends up working out in his favor and his wrongdoings get overlooked is because Michaela
Hurricane K
she is so childish. So when he says, okay, I'm gonna leave, she's like, okay, fine, do whatever. Like, this man can't get nothing out of his mouth before she's talking over him and telling him, fine, leave me alone, do what you want to do. So at that point, Like, instead of her saying, well, that seems pretty unfair for you to leave just because I want to stay in another room. Like, why can't you just stay here? I think every time you leave, that puts a wedge between us as well. Like, boom, adult conversation.
She's childish.
But she's a child.
She is a little childish too.
We don't know when her daddy died, but if he died when she was younger, then it's making sense.
When did her dad pass, y'all? Was she a teen or like 13?
Because she is reverting back to child.
She's stunted
emotionally, for sure.
Yes, honey.
So
she's stunted.
They
13.
She is, because her responses are like a petulant child, like just.
And it got worse and worse and worse. I'm like, it can't get over. Like, they were good in the car. They both were faking.
Right. And they kind of admitted to it in the conversation later that they had they basically had talked about like what they was going to do. I got a whole, Michaela annoys me with that too. But they went to, so on the way there, they stopped to try to like lighten the mood, and they stopped with a little petting zoo.
And it seemed fine. And I was like, how can it get so bad from here?
Because Michaela
blew. She can't control herself.
She can't control herself.
Because I ain't gonna lie, Zach be talking in circles sometimes. He's not the best at communicating.
And he says stuff that can be annoying.
Yeah, and kind of rude. And of course, you're gonna have a reaction. But I just don't know how you let him get you to that point. Because I probably would have been like, oh, you're not making no sense. And walk. Like, okay, we done with this conversation.
But
she start acting all erratic and shit. And he like, I can't
I'm not
deal
doing
with
this. I'm not doing this with
It's bothering me.
So they seem to be cool. They walk in the door. They have dinner that night. Everybody they say they're good. They're in a good place. They're back to where they need to be. They're really trying. And then the next day, they're having that conversation out on the porch in the back of the barn.
And she's clearly disclosing something that they said off camera
and
about
that
their decision.
Bothers me. We know these couples have conversations off camera to discuss what they're going to do when they're not in a good place or decision day or what they're going to talk about on camera. There's been so many couples that'll be like, I thought we wasn't going to talk about this on camera. Like, we know that people don't want to talk about stuff on camera. So they talk off camera. And then when somebody brings up stuff on camera, they be like, what are you doing? Like, we already talked about this. So they both reveal that they had talked on camera. I mean, they had talked off camera the night before and said
about their decision.
They probably were not going to stay married. So they pretty much, but they were going to try to still make it work. They would see where things went. So they start to have this conversation on camera for producers. And when they're having it, Michaela gets annoyed with Zach about something that it seems they've already discussed. Now, that's the part that's not making sense.
It wasn't enough. Well, she did say off camera, he said he didn't think he was ready for marriage. He had a lot of healing to do, but on camera, he said he wasn't ready for marriage with her.
But guess what? He said that after she acted a damn fool, acting like what he said was so ridiculous. You could see when they were talking and they were having a conversation, and she was like, well, I think we could get divorced, and then we give each other some space. We work on ourselves, and then we come back together. And she was just like, why would we come back together? What's going to be different? And it's like, but if y'all already had this conversation, or if y'all decided this is what the hell you was going to say on camera, like, why are you fighting him on this? Like, he's basically saying maybe us not being married and being in the same space and taking our time and just dating will make it work. Now, whether that's bullshit or not is a whole nother story. But you don't have to act like he just said your mama was ugly and talk shit about you just because he said that. Like, her reaction was such an overreaction.
Her reaction never matches the offense, and that's the problem.
And that's been the problem from
crazy Michaela.
Then he's basically like, this is the shit I'm talking about. How he's sitting there just like, why am I going through this again? Like, this is the 10th time I've had to deal with her childish ass. So he is over it. She gets up and storms off. It's like she's talking to the camera, she's talking to the producer, she's talking to everybody. I can't do this. So then they come back to have the conversation, and at this point he's pissed. So he said something that hurt her feelings, and I think what he said was fucked up, because he said, I've been ready for marriage since I was 17, but I just wasn't gonna be married to you. Use her whole full name. So he's not lying. He thought he was ready to be married at first sight until he got matched with somebody that is crazy. So nobody's ready to be married to someone that is a stranger and crazy, let alone somebody that they've been with and crazy. So he's not lying, but that's the main thing to say. You don't have to say it. But he was pissed at her because she just stormed off and made him look crazy. So what is he supposed to do with it? He's just like over it. Bow comes over to talk to her.
Bow wow.
How convenient is that?
Well,
Y'all, what are the odds? Because at this point,
most people know.
Y'all know.
You know.
So
you think they know?
Everybody gotta know. Everybody don't know, and so we don't want to
say it. But y'all know. Y'all know the irony of that for those who know.
But I don't think that it was intentional. Like,
no,
this is truly, it was just.
And she's maybe an empath, and she does. I think at this point, because she hasn't seen the footage and she was believing what Michaela said, that Bao really thinks she sees both sides. She's like, I get his point, and I also get how she feels rejected in her point.
And she actually gave her good advice. She was like, you guys are not as far off as us. Like, you guys still have love there. Like, you're there. So Bao, not knowing that Michaela crazy. She like, y'all still got love there. And at least you have something to bring you back. At least he's trying. Because we don't even have that. Like, she's talking about her shit. Like, it's like, you're good. She was like, but you need to stop telling him to go away when you don't want him to.
Yeah, it's very childish.
Like, girl.
It's very childish.
So what does Michaela do? She just gives Zach more and more to work with.
Her drunk ass.
So at the damn couples game night,
she's getting drunk.
She is drunk, y'all. She's definitely drunk.
Slurring and everything.
And when they get to that question about pettiness,
she said she the pettiest.
She proclaimed it. She gave 95 examples. Said,
I'm taking the baseboards. I'm taking it, and it's not.
And
funny.
It's like, girl, who y'all are on literally ice, the thinnest of thin ice, or not even together at all. Like, so why do you think he wants to hear this?
And she was drunk, so she kept saying, like, even in the argument, like, oh, we were laughing, we had fun. He was clearly annoyed by your ass even during the game.
And you didn't even notice.
You didn't.
He was like.
He was
like, I'm not about to be with nobody that's coming up with all this petty shit off the top.
He was like, I'm taking the seasonings. When she took them seasonings, she's like, I'm taking the food.
She was like, the baseboards, the
washer and dryer or something. She said,
Gil, she said the agitator. Like, who even thinks like that?
I ain't mad at it though. That might be something to consider, y'all.
Gil was like, oh, she the type to take the batteries out the fire alarm. Gil, we ain't at the firehouse. Crazy part was that Gil was like Michaela because they seen her pettiness at the salsa dancing.
Yeah.
So she is petty as hell.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
It's like she was boasting about it and proud about it. And it's just like, who wants to be married to somebody like that?
They went in that room after that.
He was... Oh, no. Then they had dinner. We didn't really see the dinner.
Right.
That much. We didn't see the dinner that much. But then they had flashbacks. And Zach was looking at her like, why am I doing this? Like, he literally kept looking at her like, what the hell? India didn't see that part, but he was cutting his eyes at her like, why am I here? So that turmoil when they got to the bedroom, he was just like, look, I'm not really cool. So she's shocked, drunk ass. She was drunk as hell.
Such a good time.
They should not have had that conversation. No. She was so drunk. She didn't even remember what she said 5 minutes earlier.
5 seconds. She said, I didn't say don't leave. Oh, I'll go with you. And then 5 seconds after that, I never said I would go with you. Michaela, what? I said she's drunk. Ain't no point even trying to.
So that was honestly, but the problem is when she was drunk, she can't even not do the stuff that she said she wasn't going to do. So they are having these discussions about the ways that she needs to change and be better. But once she's drunk, it's like, boom, default, I'm about to just go all in. She called her sister and lied. She called her sister for attention. Like, it's 4 couples there that are all going back to Houston to the same apartment building. There's also production there, and production has trucks and vans and everything else. So why?
I don't know why she did. I mean, we know why
she did. She was doing it for attention.
And
so
he talked to her sister.
He
was like, what's the sister? Let me talk to her. He's trying to tell her what's going on. Apparently, she still called the sister to pick her up in the morning. And it's like, why?
But no, the reason why she did that is because she was embarrassed.
So she didn't have to deal with her.
But that night, she was such a liar to her sister, and that I'm sure pissed Zach off too. Like, he sees it going downhill, and so he's like trying not to escalate it. And he's just like, all right, I'm gonna go. And also, we have to recognize they were probably talking for hours.
Yeah.
So that's also like draining and draining
I'm
and
not
draining.
gonna lie, if I was Zach at that moment,
like, why would you stay?
Yeah.
He did not bring up leaving. She brought it up.
And then he said he was leaving.
She brought up not wanting to ride home with him. She was like, I'm not riding home with you tomorrow. And he was like, oh, so if you're not gonna ride home with me tomorrow, then I can just leave tonight. Because I don't want to be here. And that's when she was like, yeah, go, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Girl. And then after you done had me sit up here and argue with you for 2 hours, and I tell you I'm leaving.
And I leave.
You tell me, no, it's not safe. You can't leave. Don't leave.
And
just sleep here. We don't have to sleep together. We'll just stay. Don't leave.
After she told him to leave 5 times, he finally makes the decision to actually leave. The people were trying to stop him, like, I don't think so. The cast. It was like,
but this was like textbook, like, manipulation.
Yeah, she tried it. She
did not want to look like the bad guy, or she didn't want to. She was just flip flopping, like bipolar. Why keep telling somebody to do something
if you don't want them to do it?
That's the only thing that apparently she thinks somebody can show the way that they care is if they fight for you or they ask you. But he still asked her 95 times.
He did.
He was like, I'm not gonna leave you. He was like, you, and she was like, let me say this. I do not need you to take me home tomorrow. He was like, bye.
Child, she cussed Ryan out.
Then she grabbed his bag and brought it back into the house, room.
She said something, I forgot.
Closed the door on him, pushed him down on the bed. He was like, yo, I gotta go.
Yo, Michaela's very toxic.
She is so toxic.
Oh, my word.
She is so toxic.
And then it was like, I had abandonment issues. You probably lied to producers to get on the show, just like you lied and said you don't like arguing.
Because she did say, she was like, he knows I have no, that's what she was saying about. She was like, he knows I have abandonment issues. And she was like, but you tell him to leave or if you push him away. Like, what?
Girl,
y'all, this
was through that house looking like a
so then troll. She want to be mad at him for leaving because, and then she gonna lie to Bow about how it happened, lying ass.
Then she stormed through the house like a crazy person, y'all, knocking down shit.
On purpose, like it was like she was mad at herself. She is. She's like a little chihuahua dog. And then the producer was in there. She broke the glass. So then apparently she went and slept in the bed with Bao and confided in Bao again. Who could have fucking wrote this? And
I know she hate Bao right now.
Then she called her sister to come get her. Here was the other thing that annoyed me. We done looked up where Britain is from Houston. It's an hour. Zach could get home in an hour, y'all. It was not 2 o'clock in the morning. It was 11 p.m. He'll get home safe. He was like, all right, guys, I'm good. I'll text you. I'll buy. And I don't feel like he would have been safe in that house with her. She would have harassed him if he would have stayed.
I agree.
She would have just been like, we need to talk. And then he would have been in a situation where he couldn't leave because it would have been 2 o'clock in the morning. She wanted to, manipulate the whole situation. And she's ready to move out and move her shit out whenever she wants to. But then as soon as he says he's leaving, it's a problem. Come on now. She crazy. This
Michaela
is liability.
on Instagram saying that basically the producers in the show are making a mockery of her childhood trauma.
She said that?
For ratings.
I didn't see that.
Yes, that was on one of her stories.
So she was
spilling tea on her story. She gonna get fired by goddamn sued by production.
She done violated all the NDAs.
Yes, and then said that basically exploiting her childhood trauma clearly is a part of the show.
Girl, you didn't have to be on the show.
And I know you lied to get on the show.
You know she
you're
lied.
a liar. That's the funny part.
She stays manipulating situations and wanting to tell stories her way so that it doesn't look as bad. This whole review should have just been about her. It kind of was. We don't know how, we didn't talk so much. I don't know how much gonna make it, but my goodness, that was so.
And I'm excited for next week.
They did have her on there saying she still love him or something. She crazy. Her braid wig was crazy.
Her wig is
it was a helmet. And then
the text between, he's on social media, on those dating sites.
Yes, Ryan and Brett. Brett calls out Ryan. She got a screenshot of him on a dating site. So he lied, of course. He was never going to tell the truth, but he got caught lying.
It's up from here, y'all.
Yeah, it's going down. It's definitely going to be some more drama. And it's less than 2 weeks till decision day. What is y'all? I can't I know everybody had the same thoughts about me. Cause everybody
My phone was
did.
blowing up.
Nobody thinks that what she did was okay.
Nope.
And Zach could be wrong with some of the stuff he says. He could be wrong with some of his responses or his reactions. And he can talk in circles. And he can actually try to make himself look better. But Michaela,
she takes the cake
every time.
She has no control over her
She's
emotions.
literally so out of control.
So crazy, y'all. Crazy.
She gonna keep us entertained for the rest of the season, though. That's for sure.
I'm glad they made it today.
Yeah. So
thanks for subscribing again.
Yes,
and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe.
Press the button.
Thank you.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye.
See you next week.